said it's a pleasure to be in Namibia. When I came in yesterday, and I was introduced like the minister from Cameroon, the Namibian I met told me, "Oh, I'm pleased to meet you because Namibia beat Cameroon in soccer." And I told him that's quite a credential. To beat Cameroon, 5 times African champion, beat Cameroon, the country that beat Brazil, beat Spain and all of that. So since Namibians like to applaud for yourselves. But beyond that, I am pleased to be here because in my previous incarnation, I served with your Minister of International Trade, International Relations and International Trade in New York. And you know it's good to associate yourself with good things. And also, Cameroon was the first country to formally support the candidacy of the now Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Applaud for that too. Now let me come to the issues. And nearly everything has been said about the issues facing us, and the tendency for me, being a Christian, would have just been to say amen and we'll move on. But when you are faced with challenges, and you know uncertain times calls for adaptability and resilience, when you are faced with challenges, there's a tendency to be reminded of the ABC we learned in school. The ABC not being the alphabet, the first 3 letters of the alphabet, but the ABC being accuse for the A, blame for the B, and complain for the C. We should not come here just to accuse, blame, and complain. Let our A stand for adaptability, our B stand for building resilience, and our C for challenging ourselves. Because every challenge that doesn't kill you strengthens you. All what is happening in the world today is an opportunity, and I like the fact that our Secretary General said we should transform, change the Commonwealth advantage to Commonwealth opportunity. That this first meeting out of the United Kingdom is taking place in Africa is not fortuitous. It's destined to be. Because of all the challenges, there's one message, that the future lies in Africa. The future of the world growth lies in Africa, and it's for us to take advantage of that. And for us to grow, we have to make sure that we work for the free movement of goods, services, and persons. That's why Africa has the African Free Trade Area, which Cameroon is proud to be one of the 8 pilot countries. It is an opportunity for us. Cameroon has a diverse economic profile based on agriculture, infrastructure, an upcoming electric development sector, because we will be producing enough electricity to sell to Chad, Gabon, and all the others. We have deep sea ports, and 2 weeks ago, from what our partners told us, one of our deep sea ports, the port of Kribi, received the largest container ship in the world, coming from China. When you talk about shipping, clap for that too, please. But when you talk about the Commonwealth advantage, I heard everybody say common legal systems, common language, and all of that. Cameroon makes that Commonwealth advantage even more advantageous for the countries which only speak English. Because in addition to English, Cameroon speaks French. And so we're a bridge to all the Commonwealth countries which speak only English, to all the other French-speaking countries which are also business partners, I know Mauritius also speak English or French, but that is a major advantage. Cameroon has a young population. Cameroon has products. We produce cocoa, coffee, all of that, and we have oil too. But everything we're doing is to make sure that our economy is not dependent on the oil sector, given all the vicissitudes of oil trade in the world today. So, when you attend Commonwealth meetings, the tendency is that all the speakers said nearly the same thing because we all nearly come from the same mode. So sometimes to say something different is challenging. What I want to say here is, for a long time, we have talked about the Commonwealth advantage. But for a long time, we have done very little about it. Because I remember when we were negotiating the economic partnership agreement with one of our major Commonwealth countries. For once, they forgot that we were partners. Do you want me to mention the country? No. The Commonwealth advantage, the Commonwealth inclusive partnerships should have a meaning starting from here. And Cameroon will give the world an opportunity. We'll give the world an opportunity when we host the CM14, the WTO CM14. The issues on the table are challenging with all the tariff wars and all the barriers, the protections being put in place. If the Commonwealth member states, for once, manage to articulate a common position on the major issues when they come to Yaoundé, then the Commonwealth advantage would have meaning. Yaoundé was not just selected by chance. Yaoundé was selected because Cameroon has proven that small may look like a disadvantage, but when well used, it's always an advantage, and Namibia is proving that. We wish all of you to come to Cameroon as Commonwealth members, working within the WTO for us to turn this advantage into real benefits for our people, to get all what we came here to get for our people. That way, the long distances we have covered to get here, all the discussions we have been having, be it in London for the various summits, would have meaning. So let's challenge ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Minister. Okay, here's a public announcement here. So we've got two cars that need to be removed immediately, I'm told. One is a white Audi N300 577, and the other was a white Polo N29654. We're now all watching who's driving those cars. So if you could just remove those cars, that would be great. On to my final two speakers. If I can ask you just please keep to time. My next speaker is Pedro Manuel Moreno, who's the Deputy Secretary General of one of our great institutions that support the work we do at the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. If you've never heard of them, they play a critical role linking south to south, north to south, and within the United Nations system in support of the Commonwealth. Can I please ask you to come up and say a few words?
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Minister, Honorable Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Excellencies, fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a pleasure for me to be here. It took me less than 24 hours to realize, I arrived in yesterday, to realize why this country is called the land of the brave. But to me, after looking at the numbers this morning and the different interactions,